Update, 7 days, 4 hours until Robotmedia. Awad is going to be in Tahoe over the weekend of Robotmedia. He usually does our MC stuff, so he's thinking about driving back down to do it, but if not, either Andrew or I will have to do it. And I don't like doing it very much.
How you doing, Adam?
Pretty good. So I'm going to interview you about Robotmedia.
For the first 4 years of college, I just sat in my room every night. One night, I happened to be in Berkeley with a friend of mine, and then she took me to this showcase, and I said, wow, this is really great. People are actually doing things in college. They're not just sitting at home every night, staying at home waiting for their girlfriend to call. And so it was at that point when I got motivated. It happened that digital cameras at the time were very cheap. Cheaper than they had been in the past. It was much easier to edit. You didn't have to do linear editing with 2 VCRs, which is what I grew up doing. And so I just said, from there on, you know, I like this. What's happening in Berkeley, I'm going to start in Davis.
I'm Sachi, and I am a former Robotmedia president. I was president for 2 years. Yeah. I heard about Robotmedia from a friend who knew Joe, who was also a former president. And I started going to the showcases, and then I got involved by just making a movie. And then Joe asked if anybody wanted to be, you know, helping run it, and I said yes. And then it kind of just became my club when Joe graduated and didn't do it anymore.
When I graduated from high school, this is a good analogy. When I graduated from high school, there was a lot of people that hung around high school and still hung out and tried to hang out, and I was like, no, dude, your time is over here. You know, go move on. Go get your college on. Don't interfere with my high school experience. In the same way, I felt like I was older. I was almost graduated at that point. I was just working in Davis. I wanted to see other people take over and have it be their thing and not be about me anymore.
I was not officially the president for a couple of years. Sachi and Christy both had that job. My job was basically to do everything else. My position in Robotmedia has always been the most time-consuming and difficult, and now it's worse because on top of doing the job that I used to do, I'm now in charge of all the administrative crap and promotions, etc.
I guess it was pretty easy being the president, except for around showcase times, because it would just get really busy with, especially with promotions and stuff like that. And sometimes we had conflicts with getting the rooms, and or if they were locked sometimes, and occasionally we had technical difficulties, which was the worst part about it. But other than that, it was fine.
I took control of Robotmedia from Joe when I was taking about a year and a half off from school, and so I was working, but I had a lot of extra free time when I wasn't working to handle things like the showcases. Intros for some of the earlier showcases when I wasn't working that took me almost a week, you know, of working mostly on that intro and nothing else. And you know, obviously during the quarter you can't do that unless you want to get D's in all your classes, which has been a problem in some cases. But I'm still here. I'm in good standing with school here, I'm happy to say.
So it's 1 day until Robotmedia. So the situation is that Andrew and I are probably going to be the only Robotmedia officers at the showcase. Awad is probably going to be in Tahoe, and all the other officers graduated last semester. Andrew had a birthday party. He was thinking about not coming to the showcase, but I corrected him on that, so he'll be here.
I'm not sure what Robotmedia's significance is to the Davis scene or the community. It seems to occupy sort of an odd place, and I don't really understand it. It's always seemed oddly connected to the music community, and maybe more so in the past than it is now, and that might have just been because Joe had a band.
I have, you know, my support group of friends, thanks to, you know, the people I played in the band with, the friends I'd made over the years in Davis, but I didn't know anyone who was interested in film. Davis didn't have a film program, a real one at the time. They had film studies, but nothing dedicated, not like a major, not people with equipment, etc. And so just generating interest, getting people to come to the showcase, getting people to make movies was the biggest difficulty. And so it started out with just a few people. But I mean, you know, the snowball started, a lot of people started coming. I had more people, you know, such as yourself, helping me out. And at that point, I felt like once there was a dedicated community of people, that's where I felt it really got going.
We used to be a lot heavier on the promotion than we are now, and it probably has to do with the fact that Robot Media's fan base is pretty well established, and so whether we promoted or not, we were still drawing, you know, 250, 300 people to the showcases.
You know, with the shirts and stuff, I see a lot of people wearing them on campus, which is kind of good. It gives us publicity, and I also, I don't know, people knew who I was, even though I didn't know who they were, so it was kind of fun just, you know, getting to know people that way.
I mean, it wasn't really something I expected or necessarily wanted. You know, I wanted to pass the time. I wanted people to get into it. I wanted people to have fun. I wanted people to make movies, express themselves, whatever. I was never there to express myself. I just like seeing people laugh. I like seeing communities of people, you know, coming together and, you know, trying hard, working to put something together. So it was definitely rewarding in that respect, but no, I never expected it to be as big as it was.
I like being able to provide the campus community with what I see as a valuable creative outlet for people. In the film scene around here, we have very few places to show movies, small microfilm type movies that you do. There's a number of film festivals around for minorities. You know, we have the Asian American Film Festival and various feminist film festivals and you know, environmental projects, or, you know, fairly small interest groups that host their film festivals, and that's great, but I feel it's kind of limiting to people who don't necessarily have a political agenda with their films.
When I was in it, I just had an opinion of it being an open thing for anybody to do whatever they wanted, even if it was gross. I mean, I didn't like some of the movies, but, you know, whatever people think is funny.
I think that Robot Media is unique and good in that it offers a chance for anybody who wants to say anything or show anything to go ahead and do it.
And we have gotten, like, letters in the past saying, you know, like, we don't agree with what you're showing or whatever, but we have a no censorship policy, and we say that. So if you think you're going to be offended, you know, obviously don't come to the showcases.